Hello and welcome back to Stealth AI Part 3. In this part, we're going to continue working on our prone movement by getting our character to actually go into a prone position and be able to walk back and forwards in a prone position. So for this, there are two custom animations which I have also linked in the description below on YouTube. And in there you'll find prone crawl backwards and prone crawl forwards that I've already sorted out for you, ready to be used. Everything else you need is going to be included inside of the anim starter pack, which we've already done. Okay, so the first task is to create a new blend space using our custom animations. So we're going to go to add new animation and choose a blend space one direction, 1D. And we're going to go and choose our mannequin, which is going to be inside the anim starter pack. So we click on that one. And this is going to be prone movement blend space, and open this up. So in here we're going to put in prone crawl backwards at the far left, crawl forwards on the far right, and then we want prone idle in the middle. Hit save. So the movement, when I preview it, looks like this, going backwards, idle, to going forwards. Okay. Next we're going to change the name. So the name here on the horizontal axis is going to be the speed. And we'll do velocity rather. We'll call it velocity. And the axis value on the left is going to be -1, and the maximum is going to be 1. Okay. And these are going to refer to the direction that we're moving in. So if we're moving to the behind us, we want it to go backwards. If we're going forwards, we're going to change it to be a positive number. If we're not moving at all, make it 0. So hit save and we'll close that. And then we're going to go into our animation blueprint. Inside our animation blueprint, we're going to go to the anim graph and we're going to create a new state machine. So let's make a new state machine here. And click there. And this one we're going to call prone locomotion. And once you go into it, we're going to add a new state. So add state. And we'll do this one as idle/movement. Inside of there, we're going to drag in our blend space, which is prone movement blend space. Plug that in, and there you go. So next, we're going to drag in our prone speed. So the prone speed, I made a new variable in here called prone speed. It's a new float. Going to drag that out and plug that in to the get here and hit compile and close that down by going back to the animation graph. So now we've got two locomotions. We've got a standing one and a prone one. The standing one has an idle which does crouch as well as jog, and the other animation graph is our prone locomotion. So next we want to determine when we're going to use each one of these. So this is going to be determined by a boolean to determine whether or not we are prone. So in here on the variables, we're going to go new boolean is prone. Let's just make sure I capitalize that one correctly. There we go. And we're going to drag that out, choose get, and then we're going to blend by bool. And what this node will do, it will take two poses, a true pose and a false pose. And if it's true, it's going to do the prone locomotion. So let's drag that into true. If it's false, we're going to do the standing one. So drag that into false. And the output is going to continue on that path through the flowchart into the slot and then through to output pose. If you want, you can customize the blend time between the two here. So it's more faster or slower. But other than that, that is it. That's all we need to know. Hit compile. Once we've done that, you're going to go into Animation Starter Kit Pack, and we need to make montages for the transitioning between going to prone and going from prone. So in here, we'll see you've got a stand to prone, and you've also got a prone to stand somewhere. Prone to stand, there you go. So we need to make a montage out of these. I've already done it for my stand to prone, but let's do it for prone to stand, and go create and in montage, And let's open it up. So on this is when we want to trigger that boolean to be false. So to do that, what we need to do is create an anim notifier, very similar to what we've done with our crouch. So on here, we're going to go to the notifier track and go to where we want to set that track to be false. We'll say towards the end here. So go right click on here, go add notify, and we want to choose a new notify up here. And we're going to name this notify. We'll do prone to stand. Okay. Hit save, and we'll do that for the other one as well. So stand to prone. And we're going to go and do a notify at the end of this roughly. Add notify, new notify. And this will be called prone, no, to stand to prone, sorry. Mine went blank there. Stand to prone. Hit save, and we can close that. So now those montages will trigger and notify. So now we have to play those montages. So on our code on the third person character, we've got our prone code, which we've done in the last episode. And at the end of the do once up here was when we done our print string for going prone. So instead of doing a print string, we're going to do a animation montage. So we need to get the mesh out and add a play montage. And we want to choose the montage to play here to be stand to prone montage. Hit compile. Then we're going to close that down and go to our animation blueprint. And we're going to right click and add a new anim notifier. Similar to how we got the crouching ones here, we're going to do another one here. So stand to prone. There it is. And we're going to set the is prone boolean to true. And again, we'll do the other one whilst we're here. Prone to stand. And set that one to false. Okay. Hit compile, and let's have a look at how this looks. Hold down shift. And go into prone. Okay. At the moment, not doing the movement yet because we haven't tied the movement value into it yet, but we've got the idle playing just fine. So now to get the character to stand back up, we're going to go back into our player character's blueprint and have a look at our code that we've got set up for our crouch and prone. At the end of that play montage, we're going to have to do a toggle and a boolean to determine whether or not we are in prone position. Now, this isn't just for the animation purposes, but also for stealth stuff later on, because when we're prone, we want to be less detectable by the enemy. So for this, we're going to create a new boolean on our variable list and do is prone. And you'll drag that out to the is uncompleted path on the play montage that we just put in. So set that onto uncompleted and tick true. We're then going to use that in our gate here. So after the gate of our prone key inputs, we're going to drag is prone out, choose get, then from there we're going to do a not boolean, because we only want it to go into the true edge of the branch here if it is not prone. So if it's not prone, that'll go into a branch, plug that in, and then plug that in. If it's false, that means we are prone and we tap the key. That's what happens when we tap the key here. That's when we want to play the other animation. So for this, I'm just going to copy what I've got here and paste that there, and just plug that in to the false branch. And on false, we're going to change the animation to prone to stand, and then it is prone, make it false. Hit compile, and let's test that out. So hold down the key, go into prone. Ignore the little flutter there, we'll fix that in a second. But if I then tap the key once, I'll stand up and go into my crouch. Push it again, go into stand. Again, that little flutter, but we'll fix that in a second. So there we have a basic transitioning into prone and into standing. So I'm going to make this code a little bit easier to read here. So I'm going to make a new custom event in here. And this one we'll call go prone. And for that, we're going to copy this code here and put that into this event. And then at the end of this do once, I'll just do that go prone function. And similarly on this false, rather than having all this, we'll do a different function. We'll do a custom one to make it stand up. So we'll do custom event and do stand up. And for stand up, we're going to take this code, cut it from there, and place it in here. Again, dragging that in and connecting it to the false pin. And you try and make it as tidy as you can. A bit difficult because it is quite a messy bit of code here. So now we can get rid of that stutter. So to get rid of that stutter, go to animation graph, go to the anim graph, and look at the blend poses by ball. And you'll see the true and false blend times out and in. Change that to 0 for both cases. Hit compile, and now let's test that out. Hold down shift and go into my pose, left shift once, and I stand up. And there you have it. So all that's left to do is get our crawling in there. And we'll do that in the next part. Okay, get our movement working because we don't want to be doing this. Okay, so join us in the next part when we're going to add in our crawling movement backwards and forwards and our prone movement in general. And if you want to watch the next part right now, head over to patreon.com/Ryan Laley, where all my patrons have been supporting me. Thank you so much. And because they've been supporting me, they've been getting access to all of these videos before anyone else, way before anyone else. So massive thank you to everyone who has supported me. This wouldn't be possible without you guys, so thank you again so much. If you're watching this and you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Because a lot of you aren't subscribed, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really goes a long way to helping me out. That's all for me, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks everyone, bye bye.